Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
What's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt.
Once again, Jake Paul is surrounded by controversy that could potentially derail his boxing journey. Fresh allegations suggest that Paul may have scripted some of his biggest fights, including the highly publicized Netflix showdown with Anthony Joshua. These claims have spread rapidly online, with certain social media voices even alleging that Jake and his brother were close to facing arrest, despite firm denials from promoters and boxing authorities, who insist that professional fights cannot be fixed without serious legal consequences. Doubts about Paul's authenticity continue to grow. Considering his troubled past, including an FBI raid on his Calabasas home, questions about his boxing credibility are louder than ever. Is this the moment that finally ends Jake Paul's unstoppable rise?
FBI agents have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed and no one is offering.
For years, boxing experts, former fighters, and promoters have openly questioned Jake Paul's fight credibility. From hand-picked aging opponents to strange pacing, delayed knockdowns, and rumored restrictive contracts, critics believe his boxing success looks more carefully manufactured than genuinely earned.
Because I've always been curious about this, because, like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't pay me all the money in the world.
Veteran boxing voices acknowledge that while Jake Paul generates huge attention and revenue, his fights often avoid true risk, sparking suspicions that outcomes protect his image rather than showcase real skill. Each new controversy doesn't stand alone. It adds to a narrative suggesting his boxing rise relies more on image, leverage, and control than the raw, unpredictable intensity that defines the sport.
If the Jake Paul fight was set up.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? Let this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade. Because
the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight grabbed massive attention for its drama. Online rumors claimed the matchup was pre-planned, fueled by alleged leaked audio suggesting key moments, including Tyson's fatigue and Paul's knockout, were staged. Fans and critics went wild, debating whether the spectacle was genuine competition or carefully scripted entertainment.
The United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul.
After defeating Mike Tyson, Jake Paul confidently said he didn't get much punched or hurt, highlighting his view that he dominated the fight with minimal challenge. Fans praised his statement, seeing it as proof of his skill and fearlessness against legendary opponents. Critics, however, argued the bout lacked real danger, pointing to Tyson's underwhelming performance and questioning whether the fight was a genuine contest or more of a controlled spectacle. The clash further fueled debates over Paul's legitimacy. In the boxing world,
the Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl. Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though? In the
did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
Why didn't he have underwear on?
He had a G-string on, is what he had.
Almost.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out, though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was crazy when we talked about this. I told him you were going to say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end.
Jake Paul's fight against Anthony Joshua drew intense scrutiny. Critics highlighted the stark contrast in experience, size, and pedigree. With a YouTuber-turned-boxer, 12-1, facing a former two-time world heavyweight champion seasoned against elite competition. Many labeled the matchup lopsided, seeing Paul more as a convenient cash-grab opponent than a serious contender. This fueled speculation that the bout was spectacle over sport, designed for attention and revenue rather than a fair test of skill. Observers questioned whether the fight's drama truly reflected competition or carefully constructed entertainment.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the bar knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
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 How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he wants.
Jake Paul is entering his fight with surprising confidence, catching even seasoned observers off guard, analysts note. His intense focus, mental resolve, and belief in his ability to rise to the challenge. Unlike some past matchups, Paul is approaching this bout with both physical readiness and strategic determination, showing he isn't underestimating the magnitude of facing a former heavyweight champion. His mindset reflects a combination of preparation and ambition, treating the fight not just as another match, but as a chance to prove himself on the global stage and solidify his legitimacy in the boxing world.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here.
Jake Paul's growing confidence has faced skepticism from seasoned analysts. Critics claim his belief in taking on Anthony Joshua is overambitious, given Joshua's decorated career, years of elite training, and proven endurance. Observers argue that Paul hasn't yet faced competition at that level, and some even suggest his physique and performance raise questions about potential performance enhancements. While Paul embraces the challenge, doubts persist over whether he can match a true heavyweight legend inside the ring.
Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to...
Despite controversies, betting on the Paul versus Joshua fight is booming, drawing fans, casual bettors, and even notable personalities. The wagering frenzy has become part of the debate, intensifying questions about whether the matchup is a genuine sporting contest or merely a spectacle designed for attention, hype, and profit.
So do you think it's going to be real, this fight? Do you think it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. Do you really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking, what is he? 16. What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits. No.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see Jake Paul?
As leaked script rumors spread, fighters who faced Jake Paul faced criticism, with some claiming he compromised his legacy. Fans speculated that Mike Tyson sold out, tarnishing his storied career by taking part in a fight widely perceived as staged entertainment rather than a true contest.
Versus Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe if you want to read it yourself.
Observers noted unusual moments in Jake Paul's fights, like Tyson allegedly whispering to him and referees signaling him to avoid certain moves, sparking suspicion of scripting. However, Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn publicly denied the Paul versus Joshua fight was fixed, emphasizing it would be a legitimate professional bout under Queensberry rules, not an exhibition or pre-written spectacle, directly countering rumors of staged choreography.
Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof.